The year is 610 AD. A cave, high above Mecca. The air is thin, cold. A man sits alone in the darkness. He's been coming here for weeks, months, seeking something, answers, purpose, God. Tonight, he'll get more than he bargained for. A presence fills the cave. Something grabs him, squeezes. He can't breathe. A voice demands, "Read!" He gasps, "I can't read." It squeezes harder. His ribs feel like they're cracking. "Read!" "I don't know how." Again. Tighter. He thinks he's going to die. Then it releases him. Words pour into his mind. Words he's never heard before. And then, silence. The presence is gone. The man stumbles out of the cave. His hands are shaking. His heart is pounding. He doesn't feel blessed. He feels cursed. He runs home to his wife, trembling, and says 2 words, "Cover me." He believes he's been possessed by a demon, and in the days that follow, he will try to kill himself, multiple times. This isn't from a hostile source. This isn't anti-Islamic propaganda. This is from Sahih al-Bukhari, Islam's most trusted hadith collection. This is from Al-Tabari, one of Islam's greatest historians. This is the origin story of one of the most influential figures in human history. And almost nobody talks about it. Tonight, we're going to. Let's rewind. Before the cave, before the voice, before everything changed. Arabia, 6th century, a land of sand and stars, tribal warfare, blood feuds that lasted generations. No central government, no unified religion. The Kaaba in Mecca housed over 360 idols, one for every day of the lunar year. Pilgrims came from across the peninsula. They circled the black stone. They paid tribute to gods made of wood and stone. This was the world Muhammad was born into, around 570 AD. The exact date is uncertain. His father died before he was born. His mother died when he was 6, orphaned, passed between relatives, raised by an uncle. But even as a child, strange things happened around him. Ibn Ishaq, the earliest biographer of Muhammad, records an incident from his childhood. Muhammad was being nursed by a Bedouin woman named Halima. One day, 2 men in white appeared. They laid the boy down, split open his chest, removed something, a black clot, from his heart, washed his heart with snow, then put him back together. The other children ran screaming to Halima, "Muhammad has been killed." But when she arrived, the boy was standing, pale, shaken, but alive. Halima was terrified. She returned Muhammad to his mother immediately. When asked why, she admitted her fear. Ibn Ishaq records her words, "I feared a demon had possessed him." Remember that phrase, it's going to come up again. 40 years pass. Muhammad is now a merchant, married to a wealthy widow named Khadija, respected in his community. But something gnaws at him. The idol worship, the tribal violence, the emptiness of it all. He starts retreating to a cave called Hira, high in the mountains above Mecca. He fasts, meditates, searches, and then comes that night. The night in the cave. We already know what happened. The squeezing, the voice, the terror. But what happened next is what most people never hear. Al-Tabari records Muhammad's thoughts after the encounter. "Woe is me, poet or possessed. I will go to the top of the mountain and throw myself down that I may kill myself and gain rest." Read that again. The founder of Islam, immediately after his first revelation, believed he might be demon-possessed, and he tried to commit suicide. Sahih al-Bukhari confirms this. It says Muhammad went to throw himself off a cliff, but the being appeared again and stopped him. This happened multiple times. Every time the revelations stopped for a while, Muhammad would return to the cliff's edge. Every time, the being would appear and say, "You are the prophet of God." Now pause. Think about every prophet in the Bible. Moses at the burning bush, terrified but not suicidal. Isaiah in the temple, overwhelmed but not convinced he was possessed. Mary visited by Gabriel, troubled, but the angel's first words were, "Do not be afraid." In biblical encounters with the divine, there's fear, reverence, awe, but there's also peace, clarity, assurance. Muhammad's experience was different. Terror, confusion, suicidal despair, a genuine belief that he might be in the grip of something evil. Why? Khadijah tries to comfort him. She takes him to her cousin, Waraka ibn Nawfal, an old man, a Christian, someone who knows the scriptures. Muhammad tells him everything: the cave, the being, the squeezing, the words. Waraka listens. Then he speaks. This is the same angel that came to Moses. Muhammad feels a flicker of hope, but Waraka's next words are darker. Your people will reject you. They will drive you out. They will fight you. Muhammad is stunned. Will they really drive me out? Waraka nods. No man has ever brought what you are bringing without being treated with hostility. Then Waraka says something else, something that gets lost in most retellings. I wish I could be alive when your people turn you out. I would support you strongly. But Waraka dies shortly after, and Muhammad is alone again. The revelations stop. For weeks, maybe months, the sources aren't clear. Muhammad waits, prays, begs for another sign. Nothing. The silence is unbearable. He begins to doubt. Was it real? Was it a dream? Was it a demon after all? And that's when he returns to the cliff. Al-Tabari records it. The prophet became so sad that he intended several times to throw himself from the tops of high mountains. Every time he went up to the top of a mountain to throw himself down, Gabriel would appear and say, "O Muhammad, you are indeed Allah's apostle in truth." Whereupon his heart would become quiet and he would calm down. Picture that. A man standing at the edge of a cliff, wind howling, the drop below him, certain death. He's ready to jump. And then a voice. You are the prophet of God. He steps back, relieved, terrified, confused. But the doubt returns, and he goes back to the cliff, again and again. This is the man who would go on to found one of the world's largest religions. But in those early days, he was a man on the edge, literally, of ending it all. Eventually, the revelations resume. Muhammad begins preaching. One God, no idols. Judgment Day is coming. Mecca doesn't like it. The Quraysh, the ruling tribe, depend on idol worship. Pilgrims bring money. Money brings power. Muhammad is bad for business. They mock him, persecute his followers, make his life miserable. One day, they throw animal entrails on him while he's praying. Another time, they strangle him with his own cloak until Abu Bakr intervenes. His followers are tortured, beaten, some are killed. For years he struggles. A handful of converts, constant opposition. And then something happens. Something that will be debated for 14 centuries. It's around the year 615 AD. Muhammad is exhausted, desperate. He's been preaching for 5 years and has almost nothing to show for it. He longs for acceptance, for peace, for his tribe to just listen. One day, he receives a new revelation, Surah 53, the star. He decides to recite it publicly, at the Kaaba, where everyone can hear. The Quraysh gather, skeptical, hostile, but curious. Muhammad begins. By the star when it descends, your companion has not strayed, nor has he erred. The words flow, powerful, poetic. Then he reaches the verses about the goddesses, Al-Lat, Al-Uzza, Manat, the 3 most revered idols in Mecca. Everyone tenses. Here it comes. Another condemnation, another insult to their gods. But instead, Muhammad says something no one expects. Have you considered Al-Lat and Al-Uzza and Manat the third the other? A pause, then. These are the exalted Quranic, whose intercession is approved. Silence. Did he just praise their goddesses? The Quraysh look at each other, stunned. Muhammad continues reciting. When he finishes, he prostrates. And then, something unprecedented happens. The Quraysh prostrate too. All of them, Muslims and pagans, side by side, worshiping together. Al-Tabari records it. Everyone in the mosque, believer and unbeliever, prostrated because of the reference to their gods which they had heard. For one shining moment, there is peace. The persecution stops. The mockery ends. The Quraysh are thrilled. Muhammad has finally come around. He's acknowledged their gods. There's room for compromise after all. Word spreads quickly. Some Muslims who had fled to Abyssinia to escape persecution hear the news. They start making plans to return. Everything has changed, or so it seems. But that night, something happens. Muhammad is alone, praying, reflecting on the day's events. And then, Gabriel appears. The angel is furious. "What have you done, Muhammad?" Muhammad is confused. "What do you mean?" "You have read to these people something I did not bring you from God. You have said what he did not say to you." The words hit Muhammad like a physical blow. He realizes what's happened. Those verses, the ones praising the goddesses, they didn't come from God. They came from somewhere else. Al-Tabari records Muhammad's response. "I have fabricated things against God and have imputed to him words which he has not spoken." He's devastated. How could this happen? How could he, a prophet, deliver words from Satan? The Quran later offers an explanation. Surah 22:52. "We did not send before you any apostle or prophet, but when he desired, Satan made a suggestion respecting his desire, but Allah annuls that which Satan casts." The claim, "This happens to all prophets, it's a test, but the damage is done." Muhammad has to go back to the Quraysh. He has to tell them he was wrong. Those verses, retracted. The goddesses, not exalted, not approved. It was all a mistake. You can imagine their reaction. The brief peace shatters. The persecution resumes, worse than before. Now they don't just mock him. They call him a liar, a fraud, a man who can't even tell the difference between God and Satan. And honestly, can you blame them? Picture this. Jerusalem, around 1400 BC. Moses stands before the people of Israel. They've just escaped Egypt, witnessed miracles, received the 10 Commandments. But Moses knows something. After he's gone, false prophets will come. Men claiming to speak for God, leading people astray. So he gives them a test, a way to know the difference between truth and deception. He gathers the people. The sun beats down. The desert stretches endlessly behind them. And Moses speaks. "A prophet who presumes to speak in my name anything I have not commanded him to say, or a prophet who speaks in the name of other gods, that prophet must be put to death." The crowd is silent, listening. Moses continues. "You may say to yourselves, how can we know when a message has not been spoken by the Lord? If what a prophet proclaims does not take place or come true, that is a message the Lord has not spoken." 2 criteria. Simple, clear, unmistakable. 1. Don't deliver messages God didn't give you. 2. Don't speak in the name of false gods. This becomes the standard. For centuries. For millennia. No exceptions. Fast forward. 2,000 years later. Islamic scholars are studying the Torah, looking for prophecies about Muhammad. And they find something. Deuteronomy 18:18-19. "I will raise up for them a prophet like you from among their fellow Israelites, and I will put my words in his mouth. He will tell them everything I command him." They claim this is about Muhammad, the prophet like Moses, the one who would come with a new revelation. Muslim apologists point to this passage constantly. It's one of their strongest arguments. See? Even the Bible predicts Muhammad. But here's the problem. If you accept verses 18 and 19 as divine revelation, if you claim they're about Muhammad, you can't ignore verse 20. Same chapter, same passage, same standard. The test Moses gave applies to Muhammad too. Now, think back to what we've already covered. The satanic verses incident. Muhammad's own admission, I have fabricated things against God. Apply Moses's test. Criterion 1. Don't deliver messages God didn't give you. Check. Criterion 2. Don't speak in the name of false gods. Check. Both criteria. One incident. By the very standard Muslims use to prove Muhammad's prophethood, he fails. The Quran tries to explain it away. Surah 22:52 claims Satan interferes with all prophets, that it's normal, a test. But does that hold up? Let's check the biblical record. Picture the prophets of the Bible, Isaiah in the temple, seeing the Lord on his throne, seraphim calling out, Holy, holy, holy. Isaiah is overwhelmed. Woe is me! I am ruined, for I am a man of unclean lips. But does he deliver a message from Satan? Does he have to retract a prophecy? No. Jeremiah, called as a young man, reluctant, afraid. I do not know how to speak. I am too young. But God reassures him, puts words in his mouth. Does Jeremiah ever say, oops, that last oracle was from the devil? No. Ezekiel, given visions so strange, so vivid, they're almost incomprehensible. Wheels within wheels, living creatures, the glory of God. Does he ever admit, I fabricated things against God? No. Daniel, interpreting dreams, receiving visions of empires rising and falling. Does Satan slip false prophecies into his mouth? No. Not once. Not in any biblical prophet. And there's a deeper problem. If Satan can insert words into divine revelation, if even the prophet himself can't tell the difference, how can anyone trust any of it? Think about it. You're a Muslim in Mecca. You've just heard Muhammad recite what you believe is God's word. You prostrated. You believed. You thought this was divine. Then later Muhammad says, actually that part? That was Satan. My mistake. How do you feel? Confused? Betrayed, uncertain? How do you know the rest of the Quran isn't also from Satan? How do you know which verses are divine and which are demonic? The Quran doesn't answer that question. It just says, trust us, we fixed it. But the doubt remains, because once you admit that Satan can mimic divine revelation so perfectly that even the prophet can't tell the difference, you've opened a door you can never close. Moses knew this. That's why he gave the test. That's why the standard is so strict. Because if a prophet can't be trusted, if his words might be from God or might be from Satan, then he's not a prophet at all. He's just a man, guessing, hoping, trying his best, but not speaking for God. And by that standard, the standard Muslims themselves point to, Muhammad doesn't pass. The test was given 2,000 years before he was born, and he failed it. Let's move forward in time. Muhammad is now in Medina. He's gained followers, built an army, Islam is growing, and he's making predictions. One of the most famous is in Surah 30. It's about a war between two superpowers, the Byzantine Romans and the Persian Empire. The Persians have just crushed the Byzantines. They've captured Jerusalem, taken the true cross, humiliated Christendom. The pagan Quraysh are thrilled. They see it as proof that their gods are stronger than the Christian God. But Muhammad receives a revelation. Surah 32-4. The Roman Empire has been defeated in a land close by. But they, even after this defeat of theirs, will soon be victorious, within a few years. The Arabic phrase is bid'an. It means 3 to 9 years. Muhammad is confident. He even makes a bet with the pagans about it. Abu Bakr wagers that the Romans will win within 3 years. But 3 years pass. Nothing. 6 years pass. Still nothing. 9 years pass. the deadline is up, and the Romans still haven't won. The pagans are mocking. Abu Bakr is embarrassed. Muhammad quietly extends the timeline. Actually, a few years could mean up to 9 years. But even that's not enough. The Byzantine counteroffensive doesn't begin until 622 AD, 7 years after the prophecy. The victory isn't complete until 628 AD. That's 13 to 14 years. Some historians, like W.M. Watt, place the final victory even later, 630 AD, 15 to 16 years, not a few years. Now, to be fair, the Romans did eventually win, so you could argue the prophecy was technically correct, but the timing was off, way off, and timing matters. If I predict the sun will rise tomorrow, I'm right. But if I say it'll rise at 3 p.m., I'm wrong. Precision matters when you're claiming divine revelation. There's another prophecy. This one's even more problematic. It's in the Hadith collection, Sunan Abu Dawud. Muhammad is talking about the end times, the signs of the apocalypse. He says, "The flourishing state of Jerusalem will be when Yathrib is in ruins. The ruined state of Yathrib will be when the Great War comes. The outbreak of the Great War will be at the conquest of Constantinople, and the conquest of Constantinople when the Dajjal comes forth." The Dajjal, the Islamic Antichrist. According to this prophecy, the Dajjal should appear shortly after Muslims conquer Constantinople. Constantinople falls to the Ottoman Empire in 1453. That was 572 years ago. Still no Dajjal. Now, you could argue that shortly after is relative, that in cosmic terms, 572 years is nothing. But that's not how prophecy works. When Jesus predicted the destruction of the temple, it happened within a generation, exactly as he said. When Daniel predicted the coming of the Messiah, the timeline was precise. True prophecy is specific, verifiable, accurate. This one, not so much. Let's talk about where the Quran stories came from, because this is where things get really interesting. Medina, the year 630 AD. A caravan appears on the horizon. 60 men, Christians from Najran, a city far to the south. They've traveled for days, through desert heat, past rocky valleys, sleeping under stars. They're here to meet Muhammad, not to convert, to challenge. The meeting takes place in the mosque. Muhammad sits with his companions. The Christians enter, dust on their robes, exhaustion in their eyes, but determination in their voices. The debate begins. Jesus, his nature, his miracles. The Christians speak with confidence. They know their scriptures, they know their traditions. And then one of them says something specific. "Show us a servant like him. Show us someone who gives life to the dead, who heals the blind and the leper." He pauses. "Who creates a bird from clay and breathes life into it." Muhammad listens. The room is silent. Creates a bird from clay? That's not in the Gospels. Not in Matthew, not in Mark, not in Luke, not in John. But these Christians know the story, they believe it. It comes from a book, the Infancy Gospel of Thomas, a 2nd century text filled with childhood tales of Jesus. The early church rejected it, called it fabricated, non-canonical. But in certain regions, especially among Eastern Christians, it was popular. And the delegation from Najran? They know it well. Muhammad says nothing in the moment. But weeks later, maybe months, a revelation comes. Surah 349. "I come to you with a sign from your Lord. I fashion for you out of clay the likeness of a bird, and I breathe into it, and it becomes a bird by Allah's leave." The same story. Almost word for word. The Christians mentioned it during the debate. And now it's in the Quran. The Quraysh, Muhammad's own tribe, notice patterns like this. They watch him, they listen, and they accuse him. Surah 25, 4-5 records their words. This is nothing but a lie which he has invented, and other people have helped him with it. Fables of the ancients which he has caused to be written down. so that they might be read out to him morning and evening. It's a serious charge. You're not receiving revelation, you're repeating what you've heard. And the Quran's response, it doesn't provide evidence. It doesn't refute the claim with facts. It just denies it. He who knows all the mysteries of the heavens and the earth has bestowed this upon me. Trust me, it's from God, but the sources can be traced. The people Muhammad learned from, they're not hidden. They're named in Islamic sources. Jabir, a Christian slave in Mecca. Muhammad visited his shop regularly. Waraka ibn Nawfal, Khadija's cousin, a Christian scholar who had translated parts of the New Testament. Salman al-Farsi, a Persian who studied with Christian monks before converting to Islam. Jewish rabbis in Medina, men Muhammad debated with, learned from, and sometimes clashed with. These aren't obscure figures. They're documented, acknowledged, part of the historical record. Muhammad had access to Jewish and Christian traditions, and many of the Quran stories reflect that access. Now, does this prove fabrication? Not necessarily, but it raises questions, especially when the Quran claims to be a direct revelation from God, not a compilation of existing traditions. The stories are there, the sources are traceable, the connections are undeniable, and once you see them, you can't unsee them. There's one more story, and it's the strangest of all. Medina. Around the year 628 AD, something is wrong with Muhammad. His wives notice it first. He's confused, disoriented, speaking about things that never happened. One morning, he mentions being with Aisha the night before. She looks at him, puzzled. But you weren't with me last night. Muhammad insists he was. He remembers it clearly, but Aisha shakes her head. You were in Hafsa's quarters. He pauses. Was he? The memories blur together. What's real? What isn't? Days pass. The confusion grows worse. He tells Hafsa about a conversation they had. She has no memory of it. He mentions going somewhere. His companions say he never left. Reality is slipping. His wives whisper among themselves. What's happening to him? I don't know. He seems lost. Has he been seeing things? They're worried, scared even. This isn't just forgetfulness. This is something deeper, something wrong. The Hadith, Sahih al-Bukhari, Volume 7, number 660, describes what was happening. Muhammad was bewitched. A Jewish man named Labid ibn al-Asam had cast a spell on him. The spell was so powerful that Muhammad's mind couldn't distinguish between reality and illusion. He believed he was doing things he wasn't actually doing. The Hadith is explicit. He thought he had been intimate with his wives when he hadn't. His perception of reality completely distorted. Weeks pass, maybe months. Some sources say this went on for up to a year. Think about that. A full year. The Prophet of Islam, the man receiving revelations from God, unable to trust his own mind, confused, disoriented, living in a fog. Then one night, a dream. Muhammad sees two figures. They speak to him. They tell him what's been done, where the spell is hidden. A well, they say. Look in the well of Darwan. He wakes. The dream felt real, more real than anything has in weeks. He calls for Ali, his cousin, his trusted companion. Go to the well of Darwan. There's something there, hidden beneath the water. Ali doesn't question. He goes. The well is dark, deep. The water still. Ali lowers himself down, reaches into the murky depths. His hand touches something. He pulls it up. A comb, hair still tangled in its teeth and wrapped around it. A cord, 11 knots, tight, deliberate, methodical. This is it, the spell. Ali brings it back to Muhammad. The Prophet looks at it. His jaw tightens. Untie them, he says. Ali begins. The first knot. Muhammad exhales. A weight lifts, just slightly. The second knot. His breathing steadies. The third. Clarity returns, like fog burning off in morning light. One by one, the knots come undone. Each one brings relief, strength, focus. By the time Ali unties the 11th knot, Muhammad feels like himself again. The spell is broken, but the question remains. If Muhammad could be bewitched, if his perception of reality could be so thoroughly distorted, how can anyone trust his revelations? During that year, did he receive any visions? Any words from God? How do you know which experiences were real and which were the result of spiritual attack? The Quran doesn't address this. It doesn't explain. It doesn't clarify. It just moves on. But the doubt lingers. Because if the Prophet himself couldn't tell the difference between reality and illusion, if he was living in a fog for months, maybe a year, unable to trust his own mind, then how can anyone else trust what he said? This isn't from a hostile source. This is Sahih al-Bukhari, Islam's most trusted hadith collection. The story is right there, and it raises a question no one wants to answer. So what do we make of all this? Let's consider the possibilities. Theory 1. Muhammad was exactly who he claimed to be, a prophet of God. If so, we have to accept that true prophets can be deceived by Satan, that divine revelation can be corrupted, that even God's messengers can't tell the difference between heaven and hell. That's a theological problem. Theory 2. Muhammad was sincere but mistaken. He genuinely believed he was receiving divine revelation, but the source was something else. His own subconscious, psychological episodes, or something darker. The symptoms are interesting. The physical sensations during revelation, sweating, trembling, feeling crushed, the initial terror and belief in demonic possession, the suicidal episodes, the ongoing accusations from contemporaries that he was possessed or influenced by jinn. Even the Quran addresses these accusations. Surah 81:22. Your companion is not mad. Surah 69:41. It is not the word of a poet, nor the word of a soothsayer. Why include these denials unless the accusations were persistent and widespread? Theory 3. Muhammad was a deliberate fabricator. He invented the revelations for power, wealth, or influence. The satanic verses incident could be seen as a failed political maneuver, an attempt to reconcile with the Quraysh that backfired. When it didn't work long-term, he retracted it and blamed Satan. Theory 4. Something else entirely. Something we can't fully explain or understand. The truth is, we're examining events from 1,400 years ago. The sources are limited. The accounts sometimes conflict. But the sources we do have, the earliest, most trusted Islamic sources, paint a picture that's very different from the sanitized version most people hear. And that picture raises questions. Hard questions. Questions worth asking. The man who stumbled out of that cave in 610 AD went on to change the world. He built an empire, conquered cities, established a religion that would spread across continents. Today, 1.8 billion people follow his teachings. But the questions remain. What really happened in that cave? What was the source of those revelations? Why did he believe, at least initially, that he was possessed? Why did he try to kill himself? Why did he speak words he later admitted didn't come from God? Why were his prophecies sometimes wrong? Why do so many Quranic stories trace back to earlier, non-biblical sources? Why was he bewitched? And if he was, how can we trust anything he said during that time? These aren't attacks, they're questions, and they deserve answers. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I'm here to present evidence from Islamic sources, from historical records, from the Quran itself. The truth can handle scrutiny. If something is true, it will stand up to examination. If it's not, well, that's worth knowing too. The Bible presents a different picture. It speaks of a God who doesn't confuse his messengers, a God whose prophets don't mistake his voice for Satan's, a God who sent his own son, not just a prophet, but himself in human form, to bridge the gap between humanity and the divine. Jesus never doubted his identity. He never feared he was possessed. He never spoke words he had to retract. He said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." And he proved it, not with questionable prophecies or borrowed stories, but with his life, his death, his resurrection, witnessed by hundreds, recorded by multiple sources, verified by history. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. John 8:32. If this made you think, leave a comment. If you disagree, I want to hear why. If you're searching for truth, keep searching. It's the most important journey you'll ever take. Thanks for watching. Let me pull back the curtain for a moment. You just watched a video that took weeks to create. Not days, weeks. Here's the truth most people never see. There are only 2 of us behind this channel. That's it. No big studio, no paid staff, no production company. Just 2 people working as a team, researching, writing, fact-checking, editing, and praying over every word. Sometimes it's just one of us carrying the load, because life happens and the mission keeps moving. We do this because we believe the truth matters. We do this because we know there are millions of people, Muslims, Christians, seekers, who need to hear what you just heard. But here's the reality. Each video takes at least 2 weeks to produce. That means we can only release a handful of these every month, and the demand is growing. We want to answer every question. We want to reach every seeker. We want to equip every Christian. But we can't do it alone. If you believe in this mission, if you want to see more videos like this, faster, in more languages, reaching more people, we need your help. Your donation doesn't just keep the lights on, it helps us expand the team, bring on researchers, hire editors, translate content, respond to urgent questions, pump out Christian videos at the speed the world needs. You're not just a viewer, you're part of the team. Every dollar is a vote for truth. Every gift is a weapon against deception. Every supporter is a partner in the mission. If you've ever wished you could do more for the kingdom, this is your moment. Join us. Help us reach the world. Consider donating today. Let's build something that outlasts us all.